have Mike Loomis on the outside. We'll bring him to the green flag. It's Jared Zippel in 27 from aisle, and we go green. Trucking, number 00 of Dan Gullickson from Stacy, sits in second. Third is the Larkin Company's number 24. Out of Zimmerman, it's Chris Mork in 24W. The one car from New Brighton in that fourth spot. Now it's Josh Anderson in car number 1. Anderson, Zippel in 27, and Dexton Cook in the Gator Trucking 78K from Rice. Back in his own car here tonight at the track, so no confusion to the fans in the stands. Dexton Cook back in his own 78K. Loomis took the lead from the start. He's never looked back up to this point. 8 laps the distance. We see the crossed flags right now. It'll be Loomis in 17. Loomis out front sees the halfway markers. Gullickson three-wheeling it out of the base of turn 2. The 00X car sits in a solid second. But here, moving forward, it's Wark in 24W. The one of Anderson getting ready to battle with Wark for positions 3 and 4. Cook 78K has moved his way into the top 5. Back in his own car tonight here at Princeton. We got the flying green out, 2 to go. Superstock heat race number 1 takes the final 2 to go signal from the starter on the stand. 17, Mike Loomis taking it from the pole position. Sees that white flag out. He's got one more trip around P-Town. Solid second, 00X Dan Gullickson as the checkers are up in the air. A battle out of 3 and 4. Loomis takes it to the checkers. 2 and 3, who's it gonna be? It says 5th. We're set for the green flag in our final heat race tonight for the Super Stocks. They're looking for the green. We got one. Eight laps the distance in our final heat race tonight for the Super Stocks. The blue 22S of Josh Schmidt caught air as he left turn number 2. Brings it back down safely at the end of that first lap. 7A, Shane Sobraski bolts up to the early race lead. Started outside row 1. Wasted absolutely no time in the 7A getting out to the front. 8 laps the distance. 23, Robidoux is next. Your pole sitter in second. 2, Dave Moss in a solid third. 22, Matthew Dibb is next. Dibb in the white number 22 currently sits 4th. 22S of Josh Schmidt having a little trouble with that race car here tonight in the top 5 in our final heat for the Super Stocks. Sobraski with a commanding lead rolls it by the starter stand, sees the flags crossed. He sees it. 4 down and 4 yet to go. Battle for 2 and 3, getting tighter with each and every circuit around Princeton this evening. 23, Robidoux. He's got his hands full of Dave Moss, the 2 car. You can see him working the throttle out of the final corner, side by side at the stand. Moss in the 3rd spot, just barely behind. Tries to take that advantage. Looks like he might have it done as he goes down the back chute. He's dragging it into turn 3 with Robidoux in 23. The flying green is out. We got 2 to go. Schmidt, the 22S car, heads off the cushion off turn 2, but brings it back out onto the racetrack. We're still under green flag racing. Rolling in for that white flag. Now sees the 1 to go. Shane Sobraski in 7A. Moss in a solid 2 spot as he moved the 2 car forward. 23. Robidoux in that next spot. Checkered flag out. Your leader and now winner Shane Sobraski in 7A. 2, Dave Moss finishes in the runner-up spot. 23, Robidoux in 3rd car. Sponsored by Gator Trucking. It's 78K. Dexton Cook to his outside. In the top-notch painting, 22S Josh Schmidt and Jared Zippel in the aisle automotive, 27, and we go green. The green is out, and they hit the pedals down to the basement. Look out, hang on, Matthew Dibb got sideways out of turn 4, but maintains the 22 car on the racetrack. 23, Robidoux, your early leader. Robidoux chased by 24W Chris Mork in the 2 spot. The 2 is Dave Moss in 3rd. 1 of Josh Anderson in 7. next, but here comes Josh Anderson in the one car with the slide job. 23 Robidoux had to pretty much get on the binders and out of the way because Anderson was on his way to the top 3. Loomis 17 trying to take that third spot away from Anderson. They're side by side, a little bump and go out of turn 4, and Loomis makes his way into the top 3. Loomis Anderson in the 00X of Gullickson 7A. Shane Sobraski is next. 23 Robidoux 78K and Dexton Cook 22. Matthew Dibb 27. It's Jared Zimpel and 22S of Josh Schmidt in that order. Chris Moore continues his quest for the checkers here tonight at Princeton in this 20-lap main event. Dave Moss with the quick times got the quicker car on the racetrack right now. You can see he is closing that gap. Only 2 car lengths at the very most separates first and second. Borg 24W with Dave Moss in 2. They start to stretch their way away from the rest of the field. 17 Lewis in the 3rd spot. 00X Gullickson trying to make a move next to Anderson in the 1 car for that 4th spot. Gullickson with the apparent advantage in turn 3 for that 4th position, but here comes Shane Sobraski in 7A. Sobraski right on the tail of Gullickson. Anderson drops back another spot. Anderson currently sits position number 6. Halfway the flags go. 10 down and 10 up yet for Chris Ward. Ward at the halfway marker starts to have a little bit quicker car than Dave Moss, but we still got a long ways yet to go. Superstocks tonight as part of the Speedway Apparel Superstock Touring Series, making their 4th stop of 2014 season here at Princeton. Ford starting to stretch things out a little bit. Dave Moss giving all he had maybe a couple laps ago. We'll see if he's got any more left in the tank with 8 laps to go, now making 7 as we circle our way around Princeton Speedway in the Ray's Auto Body Superstocks. Sobraski in 4th and 5th with Gullickson, who got a little bit sideways as Sobraski exits corner number 2, moving into that 4th spot. The 7A car now towing behind him is Josh Anderson in the blue number 1. 00X of Gullickson going to try to make those 2 spots back as Sobraski starts to pull away in position 4. Your leader starts to encounter traffic at the back. That's why Josh Schmidt, the 22S car, saw the blue and red flag as he 3 wheels it out of turn 2. 22S car is set to be the first one on the pecking order to go a lap down tonight at Princeton, but that's not happening yet. Schmidt now getting low out of turn number 2, brings the car back out on the track right in front of the leaders, sitting right in between positions 1 and 2. Flying green out, we got 2 more to go for Chris Ward. In the 24W car's got 2 more laps to go, separating him and the checkered flags tonight at Princeton. And stop number 4 of the Speedway Apparel Superstock Touring Series. The white flag out, 1/4 of a mile left to go. Bork with Moss in tow, about 6 car lengths behind on the final lap. Checkered flag out, ready to fly right there. Chris Bork with the win. The 2 car of Dave Moss finishes in that runner-up position. 17 Loomis is next, and rounding out the fans, let's hear it in victory lane. Chris Work in 24W.